My friend, have you spent thousands of dollars on AI agent platforms only to watch them crash and burn when you're facing actual client problems? I've been there. As an AI agency owner, I was sold the dream. Manus, Gensmark, these platforms promised to solve everything. But what I got was a Chinese buffet experience. Lots of options, none of them exceptional, and feeling frustrated after the meal. Now, when I tried building a simple social media monitoring agent, I faced endless errors and a $300 monthly bill for features that barely worked. I felt betrayed, angry, and completely stuck. Now, instead of settling for that buffet experience, so there's a better way. But you're in luck, my friend, because all paths are leading to what I call the custom agents or the hybrid agents. And this is the AI version of your abuela's home-cooked meal. Okay, custom AI agents built specifically for your needs, reliable, effective, and actually solve real problems. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to build real-world custom agents that deliver results. By the end of this video, you're going to have a practical method to create agents that can navigate websites, extract valuable data, run code, and also download files in your local system. Also, watch till the end so you can understand how hybrid agents work and ride the AI hype train sustainably so you can break free from the matrix. First things first, I'm going to give you 3 examples of hybrid agents. We're going to use a fast agent framework, which is low code. So it is completely MCP based. So if you are non-technical, this is actually perfect for you. Pick and choose the MCPs that are ideal for your use case and let it do all the heavy lifting. Okay, I'm going to list a video. Check this out. This is going to give you an overview of fast agent framework. So in this agent setup, we have actually 3 MCPs connected to it. One is going to be the code runner. The second is Brave Search. So it's going to perform web searches via Brave Search API, and it's going to return the results. And then it's going to have file system. File system read files from the local working directory. So we're going to have a bunch of files here. So we're going to actually go to the internet and find a dental offices and then create like a local CSV file in our directory, right? So we have set up these examples right now so we can actually test these out. I'm also going to do some analysis on a legal document. As you can see right here, I just downloaded this sample legal documents. So if you're a lawyer, you could be literally using these agents to do some work for you. So this agent is going to go ahead and read the file, and it's going to do some analysis on it. Now, based on what you're trying to do, perhaps you're a lawyer, you want to do a checklist of items, or if you want to make it simplified for different parties, so you can create 3 different documents or something like that and store it in your local folder. Okay, so the legal checklist is going to store all these files. So we're going to put the agent to work doing so. And the last example I have for you is going to be a stock analysis. So I have a bunch of stocks here that I want to track. So the agent needs to go to the internet, find the latest stock prices and do some analysis, create some charts, return it back to me, okay? Now we're going to go through these demos one by one from easy to hard. So make sure you stick to the end and watch the entire tutorial so you get an understanding of how these agents work. As you can see, the hybrid agents can do a bunch of things together. It can even write code for you. You can go ahead and fire your senior developer. I'm just kidding. Don't do that. You can fire the grunt work, so your developers can actually become agent orchestrators. They can become agent operators. There are just so many new roles coming out that are nothing to do with development at all. Mostly it is understanding the agent architecture and also understanding how MCPs fit together. So if you're technical or non-technical, it doesn't matter. Go ahead and take the AI agent challenge. In 5 days, I'm going to walk you through different frameworks that are available, and you can start testing these out to see which one you're comfortable with. Every framework has a pros and cons. You have to understand when and how to use them. That's more important. So whether you're no code or code native, go ahead and take the challenge. So you can go ahead and get started. And did I tell you it's free? Click the link below. So going back to the example of the hybrid agents, what are we going to do first? We're going to scrape the internet for dental offices near a certain area and get all their numbers and email addresses. Perhaps you want to use a voice agent to call them up. So this is how you're going to do this. We have an agent.py file, which is already set up as the utility agent, like I told you. We have all these tools already available. All right, there's some guidelines for it to follow and the servers that it's connected to. So if you're using Fast Agent for the first time, definitely also get familiar with the config.yaml file. You might also be familiar with the JSON file. It's a config that stores all the MCP servers and some APIs and stuff like that. Make sure also protect your API keys. Don't reveal all that stuff. So as you can see, I have a list of all my MCP servers right here in YAML file. This is actually not code. This is just documentation that is native to AI agent. So if you can learn how to read this really quick, that's going to be better for you than actually learning Python, because Python is not necessarily needed like the traditional sense. So the last thing you should be doing is going to some old courses on Coursera or Udemy and taking some Python courses. That's not what you should do. You should rather learn how to use these MCP servers and connect a low-code framework like Fast Agent to it. All right. The shell terminal allows us to interact with this agent in its native environment. Okay. There is no front end or anything. That comes later. If you want to use any front end chat interfaces, there's more tutorials for that. But let's talk to this agent. To initialize the agent, we say Python and agent, and we run this. So it's going to load up all the MCP servers, and now it's going to get started. Okay, the utility agent is ready. So first thing what we will do is we are going to do some dental finder. Okay, for the dental finder, let's think about the MCPs we're going to use. Get your Brave search API and plug it in here. Make sure you have that. So the utility agent is going to use that. Find dental offices in Phoenix, Arizona, and get their number and email so I can follow a brief description about them and organize a .csv file to store in the dental office example folder with at least 10. This should be enough, but you could also set up a multi-agent framework where it can double check each agent's work. In this case, this is a single agent framework. We're going to test it out with this first. If not, we can always go back to a multi-agent system. With the multi-agent system, you can use orchestrator, you could use router, there's different workflows. I'm going to list a video so you can actually see the different workflows that are available. So once you press run, it's actually going to start working on this task. Okay, so this is the agent busy at work while you sip on some coffee, or you can do other stuff. Let it do its thing, and it's going to come back with a concise report for you, my friend. So it looks like the agent just finished the job, and we can go back to the work that the agent did. Okay, so as you can see, it gave a nice list of numbers, business name, address, website, description. The only thing is, it went to the local directory and created a new folder called Dental Office Example instead of using the preset folder. Okay, perhaps you could specify more details in the prompt or use a better model. There's different ways to optimize this, or then you can move on to the multi-agent framework to make sure everything is neatly followed. The SOPs are handled according to plan. Okay, there's a lot of optimization that will come in at some point later. Okay, but this is a pretty good starting point. If you're an agency, you want to sell AI services, you can make these calls with your sales reps, or you can hand it off to your voice agents to make these calls for you. And the descriptions are going to be great for you to use to help the agents understand about the business and all that kind of stuff. Okay, so next example is going to be legal document analyzer. All right, and this is for all you lawyers out there or any business who want to automate legal stuff. You can pretty much get some documents, perhaps internal documents, perhaps external. You can either vectorize it, you can turn it into text. And so the agent here has access to this legal document in text format. And we're now going to create a checklist for things to do. Okay, so if I was a lawyer, I'm not a lawyer, but if I was, what would I need? Perhaps then I'll think about the parties involved and perhaps creating simple documents for every party so that they can interpret this, whatever, right? So it could be, just simple translations, perhaps a checklist for your paralegal, all that kind of stuff, okay? So I'm just thinking out loud, but if you are a lawyer, you're probably you're probably like, what is Imtiaz talking about? So I can say, you have access to confidentiality agreement .txt doc. You will do some analysis on it and create 3 separate documents, one for my paralegal to follow up on step-by-step tasks. The other one is for business called Avocado AI Agency, and make sure the terms are simple with a glossary of terms for them. The third one is documentation filled out with my name on it, Lawyer Smith, and the business Avocado AI Agency. So as you can see, it's checking the directories to find the document. It's checking the available workspace. Then it found the document. Then it's doing the step-by-step analysis, still using the file system in this case. So it has finished doing the job, and you can see it produced 3 files. Now, in this example, it did not use the code interpreter or the code runner tool. So it seems like .txt file is easy to create. You don't need code for this, but if you were to do any complex chart, you do need a code runner in this case. It understood that I want a completed version, so as you can see, just put a random Avocado AI Agency on here, and Lawyer Smith, I have advised it, right? So it followed exactly what I've said. Now, in order to reduce hallucination, you could also have vector documents and all the kinds of stuff to make sure the tasks are always consistent. Then you have the paralegal task list, which is a step-by-step process for the paralegal to follow. Very easy, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, if you were hooked up with the email automation, you could send this off to your paralegal as an email. And this is a simplified terms for Avocado AI Agency. Let's just assume it's not so familiar with law and the legal stuff, so it needs a little bit more clarity in the glossary of terms. So this has been provided. And the next step could be email, whatever is necessary for your workflow. So this was done. But let's take it a little bit further. So as you can see in all of these examples, it wasn't using the code runner or the code interpreter or code in general at all. It was using the search APIs to search the internet, downloading some files, doing some document conversions, and then it's summarizing based on what I have instructed. It didn't need to use the code runner. Code runner is important when you're writing some code. In cases where you need to do some analysis, in cases where you need to create some charts, create a small program whatsoever, it's also helpful if you provide some code so that it can understand what you're trying to do. This is always great when you're building any code native applications. However, in this small example, we have stock analysis. I want to show you a complete autonomous agent plan, right? If you were to build these things together, you probably need to create specialized agents, one for running code, one for doing this and that, so there's more depth into the agent's workflow. And then you can have a master agent like an orchestrator combining all the inputs together, creating a final synthesized version. However, I always advocate when you're starting for the first time, try a single agent approach, see how the results come out. Maybe you can tune the prompt a little bit, maybe you can tune the data set, or perhaps provide better instructions, etc. So always try with the simple agent, and we're going to test it one step at a time so you can actually see what it will do at each step. It can run completely autonomously, right? But then you also have to think about the token. Sometimes it goes on these loops whenever it's installing the libraries or it's running some code, and it's going to fall insert is going to loop in certain cases, and that's totally fine. So I want to show you the looping process so you can get a better idea, so you can also conserve your tokens. All right, get this stock data, and then we're going to create some visualizations with it. So when you're creating any visualizations or charts using Python or code, it's using three essential libraries: matplotlib, pandas, and I think numpy. So make sure you have those installed. Well, tell the agent, make sure to have those installed. If not, it can figure it out on its own as well. All right, so I can say, look at the stock.csv file in the stock analysis folder. For each of the stocks, create a chart using matplotlib in pandas, matplotlib, and the code runner tool. Output the final file as chart.png. So let's go ahead and run this tool. So the agent just successfully finished writing this chart. It's not the best, like I have said, with a single agent. However, you can always tune the prompt. You can always provide examples so it understands the kind of work you're looking for, the kind of templates you're looking for. All right, so let's do a quick sanity check. It's always good to do a couple of rounds of quality assurance checks to make sure the agents are performing as expected. So the SAAI A stock 8802 is the total value. Let's calculate it. 352.1 shared owned 25. It's 8802.5. So the numbers are accurate, and this is a sign of using the code interpreter, using proper analysis tools. So now that we've identified that the code interpreter works for this basic chart, so now that we know that this works and the code interpreter tool is working, the charts are looking good somewhat, we can now go ahead and start doing some more complicated tasks. Now I want the agents to autonomously search the internet, find the latest stock information, create some analysis. I can provide examples, what kind of analysis I'm looking for, maybe projections or whatnot, but I'll just leave it at that. Do some data analysis using the latest price. And for each of these stocks, I want you to create individual PNG files with the analysis. Then I want you to create individual visualizations or charts as PNG files, store it in the local folder, something like that. So you're using code interpreter, you're using search, and then you're also using the file system. So let's just give it a shot. I say go to the stock CSV file in stock analysis folder. For each of the stocks, I want you to search the internet, find the latest stock data, then create individual chart analysis for them, and this is for each ticker symbol. Create the chart and store it. Create the charts using code runner matplotlib and store each individually as .png files. Let's go run this and see what we get. So it's great that the agent really is planning the workflow. It's reflecting, it's thinking about all the individual component it needs to work on, and then it's actually going to the internet. As you can see, it's using the file system first to look at the file, and then it's going to create a directory. It just created a directory for individual analysis, which is good. I didn't tell it to, but sometimes it's just going to use expert opinion to do so if the instruction is not 100% clear. So it's using the code runner, as you can see, and it ran some code. And this is interesting. You'll notice that the code, and this is very normal with code, it's going to fail, and then it's going to think about why it failed, and it's going to fix it autonomously, and it's going to run better code. So it was able to produce some charts, as you can see. It's a PNG file, and then you have a text file with stock analysis for SSI. So the text report gave us the exact same price. Well, it is true, the price didn't change. This is not quite helpful, so I've rewritten the prompt to say to get the historical prices. So now I can see a whole timeline in the chart. So it will be kind of like a line chart. So as you can see, the agent now went ahead and searched the internet. It looped through the code a little bit until it figured it out, did a code runner one last time, and then it was able to create the PNG files. So as you can see, the charts now have historical prices, and it's taken from WW International. So as you can see, the analysis was made here. So we have the text files. So this was good. So as you can see, the hybrid agents open up the door to so many possibilities, and it can do all these tasks for you autonomously. And this is no longer the future. This is actually the present right now. And you're going to see a lot of these kind of agents coming out. And it's agents creating workflows, agent creating code, agent doing what you would normally associate humans to do, right? So you can now autonomously run these workflows. Now with MCPs available too, you can create MCPs. I like to explore with you, but in terms of the key learnings here, provide better code examples. Hybrid agents can do anything you can think of. Use better prompts for accurate results. Define detailed analysis requirement. When things are a little bit more complicated, use a multi-agent systems to coordinate complex workflows. Don't use it as a coping mechanism, or don't even try to hard code too much as a coping mechanism as well. Try to use these agents as much as possible. Try to understand their role. Try to use better models and keep updated with the latest and greatest information. So I also encourage you to take the 5-day AI agent challenge. You're going to figure out different ways to create agents, different frameworks, the pros and cons, why and how to use it. Okay, and I can guarantee you the agent framework you're using now is probably not the best agent for you. Okay, so go ahead and take the challenge, and then you're going to get a lot of breakthroughs doing so. They don't want you to create your AI agent. They don't want you to give you exactly what you need. They don't want you to break through the matrix. Now, if you are an AI agency owner or a serious entrepreneur and you're feeling stuck, you feel frustrated, you feel like you're doing more work than you should be, you're trying to figure out these complicated workflows created by humans, agents, maybe your next door neighbor, maybe your grandma, maybe caffeinated squirrel, and you're wondering there has to be a better way. It almost feels like instead of having a robot butler who make coffee for me, the robot is making me make the coffee. You're feeling frustrated, you're feeling angry. So don't worry, my friend, I got you. Book a free call with me and we'll set you up with a game plan. I've helped hundreds of AI agencies and entrepreneurs just like you, set them on the right path so you're no longer stuck. You're building your AI agents, you're building your custom solution, whether it's MCPs, agents, SaaS, you name it. Okay, thank you for watching. I'm going to list these 2 videos right here so you can understand the fast agent framework and the future of multi-agent systems. So until next time, drop the rigid automations, drop the silly chatbots, and unleash the full potential of your AI agents.